Yes, dear students, we have studied in the last class the structure of electrified interface, and we have also studied the Lippmann equation. Now in this class, we are going to discuss the structure of electrical double layers. There are various theories explaining the structure of electrical double layers. We know already that structure of electrical double layer the structure of electrical double layer we have already studied a metal electrode which is having a lattice of positive ions and free electrons. We have studied in the last class. This is metal. Usually, the first layer is absorbed by water dipoles. Okay. This is water dipoles. This is called a primary layer of hydration sheath. This is the primary layer over which there will be solvated ions. This is solvated ions. It forms the secondary structure, the secondary layer, above which again there is a water dipole. This is called secondary hydration sheath, and the second row consists of largely solvated molecules, and that is called outer Helmholtz plane. This is called outer Helmholtz plane. This is outer Helmholtz plane, which is covered by again the hydrated molecules, then again unsolvated ions. They forms a secondary layer, and this is the secondary hydration sheath, and this is called outer Helmholtz plane. This is what we have studied in the last class, which gives the structure of metal electrolyte interface. The structure of metal electrolyte interface or electrical double layer theory is explained by Helmholtz Perrin. Next, second scientist Guy Chapman, and the next theory is Stern model. We are going to study one by one because all of them are very important 10 mark questions. The question will be asked, explain the Helmholtz Perrin theory of electrical double layer. Okay, now we are going to study what is Helmholtz Perrin electrical double layer theory. The basic concept is this. Now listen, the first theory is Helmholtz-Perrin theory of electrical double layer. This theory gives a qualitative description about the structure of electrical double layer. According to this theory, this is proposed by Helmholtz. He says that a metal is an electrode. It has some charge. For example, this is the charge on the electrode. This is the electrode. Okay, this is the electrode. Okay, this is the structure of the electrode. What happens? This is contact with electrolytic solution. That solution, for example, it is attracted by oppositely charged ions. Okay. This is a solution. This is metal. The charge on the metal is drawn by a counter layer of opposite ions over the surface of a metal. Okay? And here this forms an outer Helmholtz plate. Outer Helmholtz plane, and the charge density over the solution is exactly same in the magnitude of the charge density over the metal, but opposite in sign. For example, the charge density over the metal is represented as Qm, and the charge density on the solution side, which is absorbed over the surface of the metal, is equal to the charge density on the solution side, but they are in opposite sign, equal in magnitude but reverse in the sign. Okay, so therefore the electrified interface structure is made up of two charged sheets. Okay, this is like a two charged sheets separated by some distance. Okay, they are termed as double layer. This is called double layer. Okay, that is, one is the metal and the other layer is solution interface or solution layer. The charge densities on these two sheets are equal in magnitude but opposite in the sign. See what happens? There is a potential drop between these two layers. When there is a potential drop between these two layers, then it is a linear one. It acts like a condenser. What is actually a condenser? See, what is condenser? Condenser is made up of two metal plates. Okay? See, condenser or a capacitor. See, this is like this. Okay? This is like a capacitor. This is metal. The charge on the metal or the charge density over the metal surface is taken as Qm, and the charge density over the solution is taken as Qs. Okay? So, according to Helmholtz-Spirin, the two charged layers are parallel with one another and they act like a capacitor. What is a capacitor? A capacitor is a device of storage of electricity. Okay, there will be a storage of electricity. There will be a potential drop between these two layers. They act like a condenser. Okay, now not only that, the electrical interface between these two, there will be a linear variation of potential. There will be linear variation of potential occurs in the double layer. So, according to Helmholtz and Perrin, it acts like a condenser. Therefore, this theory is also called condenser theory. Okay, the metal electrolyte interface acts as a capacitor. There will be two separate charged layers. It is called Helmholtz electrical double layer. There will be a potential drop between these two metal sheets. Okay, and the charge over the metal and the solution is equal in magnitude but opposite in sign or opposite in charge. Now let us see what is the potential drop between these two sheets, between the metal and the electrolyte. Okay, between the metal and the electrolyte of the capacitor is by a theory called electrostatic theory. Electrostatic theory explains the potential difference across these two plates is given as, listen, according to electrostatic theory, the potential difference or the potential difference V across a condenser per unit area, it is given by V is equal to D divided by epsilon R into epsilon 0 into Qm. What is this D? D is the distance between the two plates. See, this is the Helmholtz electrical double layer. This distance is taken as D. Epsilon R is nothing but the electric constant of the material, and epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space. Okay, and Qm is the charge density over the metal surface. Now let us consider the Lippmann equation. Now we are using the Lippmann equation and replacing the dV in this equation. We can write it as integration of d gamma will be equal to d by epsilon r into epsilon 0 integration of charge density on the metal and the change in the charge density over the metal. Now I am integrating this equation. When I integrate this equation, I will get gamma plus constant equal to d divided by epsilon r epsilon 0 into q square m divided by 2. Now we have to evaluate to find out the value of this constant, I am applying two conditions. What are the two conditions? I am applying two conditions that when Qm is equal to 0, automatically gamma will be equal to gamma max. Okay? When the charge over the metal is equal to 0, there is no charge, automatically gamma value will be equal to gamma max. So therefore, hence constant equal to minus gamma max. So this constant is minus gamma max. Now I am substituting this value in this equation. I will get gamma is equal to gamma max minus d divided by epsilon r, epsilon 0, q square m divided by 2. This is 2. Okay? Or I can write this is as gamma max minus divided by d. This is nothing but v square by 2. That is the potential drop between these two layers. Then this equation is of parabola. This equation is of parabola and symmetrical about lambda max, and it is symmetrical about gamma max. So therefore, what is meaning electrocapillarity is maximum? Here, this is electrocapillarity is maximum. Therefore, the other differential form of this equation I am writing this in the form of differential equation. Or differential capacity, differential capacity, I can write it as C is equal to dq by dv will be equal to epsilon r into epsilon 0 divided by d. That is epsilon r, relative permittivity of the material, and this d, these two are constant. The distance between the two layers is constant. The relative permittivity of the medium is constant. Therefore, the parallel plate model predicts a constant capacity which does not change with the potential. So therefore, the Helmholtz-Wirren theory is very much quite satisfactory for electrocapillary curve and for a perfect parabola. Therefore, experimentally, electrocapillary curves are symmetric but not perfect parabola. So therefore, here in this case, the charge is stored by a capacitor. That is, when the metal and electrolyte act as a capacitor, the charge, the change in charge density with respect to the potential drop will be equal to ER into E0 divided by D. That is, epsilon R is constant and the D is also constant. This is the relative permittivity of this space. So, this Helmholtz-Wirren theory is quite satisfactorily explained how the what is called as the Helmholtz theory is assuming that the metal and the electrolyte, these two layers act like a capacitor. They store a particular amount of charge. Okay, this theory is called Helmholtz-Perrin theory of electrical double layer. Okay, it gives the explanation of this type of structure of electrified interface. Okay, the next theory in the next class we are going to study is Goy-Chapman theory. Okay, and after that we are going to study the Stern model of electrical double layer theory. So students, today we have studied one theory about the structure of electrified interface or electrical double layer theory that is given by Helmholtz and Perrin. It is also called a condenser theory because he is assuming that the metal plate and the electrolyte interface act as a capacitor. Okay, in the next class we will study the second theory of Helmholtz of electrical double layer.